Wouldn't it be so nice if Joe Biden, in any sense, in any proportion, was actually the leftist, socialist, Marxist radical that the Republicans and Trump claim he is? I mean, for fuck's sakes, look at this. Despite polls showing aggressive climate action a winning issue, Biden boasts, I am not banning fracking, not to mention the fact, even if it wasn't a winning issue politically, the world is literally burning. I mean, the world is on fire. Massive hurricanes, droughts, wildfires, all kinds of sea level rising, all kinds of freak weather incidences. Tornadoes are becoming more common and strengthened due to climate change. And Biden can't even come out and say he is against fracking, which literally pollutes the groundwater, causes earthquakes. There's been videos. People literally can light their drinking water on fire because of the fracking chemicals that have been pumped into the groundwater around where they live. That's Joe Biden. He can't even come out with this. I mean, this isn't even fucking supporting Green New Deal. Just say you're against fracking, for God's sakes, and explain why. It's not that fucking difficult. I mean, again, that's just like, it would be so nice, again, if Joe Biden was the leftist radical that the right claims he is. I mean, he's right wing in his own sense in so many ways. This is him. I am not banning fracking, Biden told a crowd. Let me say that again. I am not banning fracking, no matter how many times Donald Trump lies about me. He ain't gonna ban that shit. Jesus. During a debate in March with Bernie, who vocally supports a nationwide fracking ban, and yet he enthusiastically supported Biden without getting any type of policy concessions. Bernie, the consummate sheepdog for the Democratic Party, Biden said there would be no new fracking if he was elected, but his campaign later clarified that this would not constitute a full-fledged ban. Wow, gee, I'm assuming that's very comforting to the people who are still being poisoned, and by that, whose communities, are having earthquakes because of that. Yeah, that's real fucking great, Joe Biden, and your fucking corporate neoliberal fucking piece of shit strategists and campaign advisors. I mean, fuck. Yeah. And fucking New York Times looks like doing some fucking propaganda for the fracking industry. So the poll from Pennsylvania. Survey results indicated 83% of respondents believe climate change is a serious problem, and 73% said they would support the government taking bold action to combat climate change. And again, Green New Deal should be the fucking floor, but Joe Biden can't even come out and say that he supports a ban on fracking. I mean, that is how we have two right-wing parties, center-right party in the Democrats and a far-right extremist party in the Republicans. But Biden's non-committal attitude towards fracking in particular, and with the Democratic Party's refusal to commit to end fossil fuel subsidies, progressive and activists remain unconvinced. This is from Walker Bagman on Twitter. Joe Biden's continued public opposition to a fracking ban is basically an assurance to the industry will continue the Obama-era transition to a natural gas energy economy in the immediate while pledging a greener future. Seems certain we're going to miss our climate deadline. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Again, the Green New Deal needs to be the fucking floor. Lee Camp's pretty awesome. Lee Camp, Twitter, Biden's speech today was yet again trying to out-Trump Trump. Biden said repeatedly he's not against fracking. He supports the police. He won't be pressured by socialists. If Biden loses, just remember it's because he tried to be Donald Trump rather than being progressive. I mean, again, it's not surprising. This is the candidate the Democratic establishment propped up, that Obama helped orchestrate behind the scenes to make sure that Joe Biden was the nominee and not Bernie Sanders because they want to protect the status quo, even if that means losing to Donald Trump again, who by having this type of position, who are you trying to reach out to? This isn't going to make Republicans vote for you. Donald Trump's got his base locked down. This isn't going to get progressives to get out and vote for you. And fuck the Sunrise Movement for endorsing Joe Biden. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's just another, basically, part of the nonprofit industrial complex that, basically emerged to, whitewash Joe Biden and these other politicians while Joe Biden doesn't even support a fucking fracking ban. Fuck the Sunrise Movement. Fucking co-op. Fuck. I mean, Jesus Christ. Why would you support a candidate doesn't support a ban on fracking, doesn't support a Green New Deal as the world fucking burns? Again, it's like, really? At least get some fucking policy concessions. They're just as bad as Bernie in that regard. I mean, for God's sakes. But again, not surprising, but you actually have to give people a reason to vote besides not being Donald Trump. Obviously, Donald Trump doesn't support a fracking ban either, but he at least plays to his base. And again, this isn't going to convince any more people to vote for you, Joe Biden. So again, you lose the election. Don't blame the voters. Blame yourself and the Democratic establishment for not actually running on a policy platform that gets people out to vote. And again, as Chomsky points out, the two biggest threats facing the globe as a whole are climate change and the threat of some type of, nuclear war. And not supporting a fracking ban definitely does not help the former of those crises. And the worse climate change gets, and it's going to keep getting worse, especially the extreme inaction the U.S. government has taken towards it, the worse global conflicts and tension will get as there's more and more, fighting for resources. People are forced to, migrate from their countries because of the, devastating effects that climate change is having all over the globe. And again, it's another one of those issues that the most vulnerable, marginalized are already facing and will continue to face as with anything. And just, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Joe Biden, he ain't no radical leftist as much as the Republicans like to paint him in that brush, unfortunately. I'd love it if he was, even if he had one tiny little bone in his body. I would love that, but it ain't the fucking case.